Welcome to Mind Prosperity. And as I always say, at Mind Prosperity, we believe that where your mind goes or your thoughts go, your life follows. Now, a very important thing about your mindset or about your thoughts, and I always say the importance of emotions with it, is growth. Growth in your emotions, growth in your mindset. If we're not growing, we are dying. If we're not going forwards, we're going backwards. Many people might say, yeah, but if you don't go forward, you can stand still. The reality is life always moves forward. And if you don't grow, if you don't enlarge yourself, and I don't mean physically, I mean mentally and emotionally, you're going to stay behind. So I'm going to speak about 9 psychological shifts that happens when you are growing. Now, these are not practical steps to grow. We do a lot of videos on how to grow, what to do to grow. So this is not practical steps that you can apply to grow. These are just indications. Like if these things are starting to happen, it shows that you are busy growing. Okay, so number 1, you start to see your own triggers and trauma. So when you react, a trigger is an emotional reaction, like a big emotional reaction to something. When you react, you don't blame the external circumstances. You acknowledge that it's your own emotional trigger. Emotional triggers happens because of past traumas. So you start to realize and you start to recognize this is my trigger and I'm triggered because it comes from this trauma. Number 2, you stop seeing enemies everywhere. You will see people who are unhealed will very easily say, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust any man. I don't trust any woman. I don't trust any church. And they almost see enemies everywhere as if everybody is against them. And it's also because of trauma or hurt in the past. But people who are growing stop seeing enemies everywhere. Number 3, you know the difference between external manipulation and internal triggers. So a lot of times people feel triggered. A lot of times people feel emotionally hurt. But that emotional hurt is not because somebody else manipulated them. It's not because somebody else treated them badly. Somebody else might have said or done something that triggered something within them. But they know the difference between when they are actually manipulated and when it's their internal trigger. People who are not healed, they will see every single trigger as manipulation and blame the other person. Number 4, you become unavailable for people's drama. Meaning, if somebody does manipulate you, if somebody does try to dominate you, if somebody does try to intimidate you, if somebody does use emotional drama to sway you, you become unavailable for that. Now, that doesn't mean you become unavailable for people who actually goes through something emotional. It does mean that you become unavailable for people's emotional drama that they use as manipulation. Number 5, and number 5 is for me probably the most important one in my life, is you start to become okay with yourself. You are okay with yourself because, for a very long time in my life, I've realized that if other people were not okay with me, I would change who I was to get people's approval and acceptance. But true joy really came when I realized that I'm okay with myself and I didn't worry too much about what people thought. Now, it's great if people think well of you, but true emotional freedom and true joy came when I realized I could be myself and I can be okay with it. Number 6, you don't need others to confirm your reality. So, and this was also me, you need validation and confirmation from people the whole time. But if you have an experience and you get to a place where you can acknowledge this was my experience, this is true to me, I don't need people's confirmation or validation for it, then you start to become healthy and then you are growing. Number 7, you do not over-explain. And this was also me. I would do something that's good for me. I would do something that's authentic to me. And I would try to over-explain to people why I did it. So when you get to a point where you start to realize I do not have to over-explain myself to people, then you realize you are growing. Number 8, you do not stay close to those who want to change you. And this was also like a big thing for me. If people wanted to change me, I would stay close to them and I would change so that they could accept me. Now, I'm not speaking about somebody who wants to help you grow, because we do change and we do grow. But if I say I want to grow in this area and you support me to grow in that area, I will stay close to you. If I know this is authentic to me, but you want to change it, then I will withdraw a little bit. I will not be too close. So some people you have to have in your life. You cannot just get rid of them. I will not stay close to the person who wants to change me. Number 9, you do not feel compelled to do everything or to be everything to everyone. You do not feel compelled to be everything to everyone. So you don't feel compelled to change almost like a chameleon so that you can become everything other people want to be in order to please other people. You get more comfortable to say, this is who I am. And if you don't like who I am, if you don't love who I am, that is really okay. So when you do this, you will see the following 2 things happen. When you do these 9 steps, you will see the following 2 things happen. You become distant from dysfunction. And this is one of the key areas that shows you are healing. If someone or something is dysfunctional, you distance yourself and you get to a place where you say, I'm just not going to allow myself to be around dysfunction anymore. And then you become safe and ready for close connections, because you see people who are not emotionally well, people who are not emotionally healthy, let me rather say that, people who are not emotionally healthy, people who want to be in the spotlight all the time, people who are people pleasers and people who want the admiration from people the whole time. They normally have like a lot of people in their life, but they don't have close connections. But somebody that's healthy values close connections much more than having a bunch of people in their lives. And if you get to the place where you're like, I'm not going to be around dysfunction the whole time, I want close connections, even if it's not a lot of people, then you are on your way to emotional growth. Thank you so much for watching. I hope these points helped you and gave you good understanding. We'll see you soon again.